the blog Out of the Past, and I'm here with the new classic film haul video. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these, and I'm super excited to show you all the cool stuff I've accumulated over the past few months. Now, before I start this video, it would mean the world to me if you would support this channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Thank you. First up, I'm going to dive into this amazing stack of Blu-rays and DVDs, starting with Stan and Ollie. This is the biopic on Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy that came out last year, and it stars Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly. I watched this last night. I'm telling you, the tears flowed. It was such a beautiful movie, not only about their business partnership as comedic geniuses who were a huge hit in the silent and talkie era and were beloved worldwide, but because this focuses on the last time they worked together, which was on a European tour of the UK and Ireland, doing stage productions, it's very tender-hearted. It's their last hurrah, and you really get a sense of their beautiful friendship. Plus, I mean, Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly were Laurel and Hardy, and usually prosthetics look fake, but they looked real on John C. Reilly. Like, he looked like Oliver Hardy. It was kind of crazy. So I highly recommend this, and I have a review coming soon. And next up on Blu-ray, oh, I want to mention that this is from Sony Picture Classics, and the next one I have up is from Kino Lorber, Desert Fury, which stars Elizabeth Scott, John Hodiak, Burt Lancaster, Mary Astor, and Wendell Corey in his film debut. This is the first time this film has ever been available on DVD or Blu-ray, so thank you, Kino Lorber. It's a Paramount picture, so it's caught up in that whole control that Universal has on that vault of old Paramount classics. This is a total melodrama, over-the-top, Technicolor drama. It's gorgeous, it's kind of cheesy, but it has like fantastic performances, an amazing wardrobe, and gay subtext that isn't even subtext. It's like right in your face. It's amazing. So I highly recommend this one, and I should be reviewing it soon. Next up on Blu-ray is from the Warner Archive Collection, The Prize, which is directed by Mark Robeson and stars Paul Newman, Edward G. Robinson's in it, Elke Summer, Diane Baker, Kevin McCarthy, and I don't know much about this film. When did it come out? 1963, and this is about the Nobel Prize, so it's set in Stockholm, and there's like this mystery, like Paul Newman is a Nobel Prize winning author, and I think he's investigating Edward G. Robinson, who is a physicist who might be not legit, so he's trying to uncover maybe a crime or a mystery, but I don't know, I'm excited to see this one. I love Paul Newman, and to see the kind of like maybe a literary twist to it, that could be fun. Also directed by Mark Robeson is Trial from 1955. I purchased this a few weeks ago from the Warner Archive Collection to work on a research article that I wrote for Turner Classic Movies that is live now if you want to check it out on their Tumblr. This stars Glenn Ford, Dorothy McGuire, Arthur Kennedy, who got an Oscar nomination for his performance, Katie Jurado, John Hodiak, who's also in Desert Fury, but this is his last film role. He died, I think, just shortly after making it. Rafael Campos and Juano Hernandez, and my article was about how race and racism are depicted in the film. And this film, not a lot of people talk about it, but it's amazing. I love how it has multiple themes and threads going throughout. Not only there's like the racism, but there's also white supremacy and communism, and kind of it takes a look at the corruption in the justice system. There's lots of things going on, and it's just a fantastic cast, great script, great story, and even visually quite stunning. So I highly recommend this one. And next up is the Alice Howell Collection, 12 Rare Slapstick Comedies. This is from Undercrank Productions in collaboration with the Library of Congress. Undercrack Productions is run by Ben Modell, who is an amazing silent film accompanist. And this is the first comprehensive collection of Alice Howell's short comedies. And there's 12 films in here. They range from like 11 minutes to 25 minutes. You can watch this in a couple of hours. And I'm excited to watch this and review it, and has original live music, original accompaniment by Ben Modell, so I'm super excited about that. And this is just a quick one. Road to Morocco, Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour. I haven't watched too many of the Road movies. My friend Frank had a copy of this that he wanted to find a new home for, so I was like, I'll take it on. Anthony Quinn is in this, so I'm hoping to maybe try the Road movies a little more. And this is something I've been waiting for a very long time. Assignment in Brittany. This is an MGM movie starring Susan Peters, right there. She's my favorite actress. So this film has not been available on DVD before, and there were only illegal copies you can watch online. And I wanted to watch it in a legit way, so I waited. And it was worth the wait. The DVD looks great. This stars Pierre Almont, Susan Peters, Richard Worf, Margaret Wycherley, I'll probably butcher all these names, and Signe Hasso. And Susan Peters plays basically herself, like kind of a very modest and almost prudish young woman, and Pierre Almont is like a spy during World War II who looks exactly like a Nazi, so he pretends to be the Nazi to infiltrate this whole like underground Nazi network that's happening in France. And Signe Hasso is the Nazi guy's like mistress. So he infiltrates this world, and Daryl Hickman plays this young French boy in the film. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I met him, I talked to him about this movie, which was super exciting. And I was worried that the part would be very small, but he actually becomes one of the big heroes of the movie. So I was very pleasantly surprised. I have reviewed this on my blog, and I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in checking it out. Another Warner Archive movie that I've already reviewed, but that I got some weeks ago, is Woman Wanted, starring Maureen O'Sullivan and Joel McCrea. One of the benefits of this movie too is that Lewis Stone and Louis Calhern are both in the movie, and I love both of them, and the fact that they were both in the movie was a big sell for me, but also I love the two main stars, so that's awesome too. So this is kind of like a good companion to Hideout, which is a 1934 film, also with Maureen O'Sullivan, but her counterpart in that is Robert Montgomery. But it flips because Robert Montgomery is the wanted person. He's on the lam, and in this one she's on the lam. So she's wrongly accused of murder, and she is basically on the lam. She kind of got an escape. She's being transported to jail, but then there's a car accident and she escapes. And then Joel McCrea is kind of like this womanizing lawyer who starts to fall in love with her and wants to help her out. So they try to see if they can prove that she didn't commit the murder. So it's like it's a fun 1930s movie, some drama. There's some heavy subject matter too, like she tries to commit suicide at the very beginning of the movie. So it's like a nice mix of elements. I really highly recommend this one. And my last DVD is also from Warner Archive. Professional Sweetheart. It stars Ginger Rogers, Norman Foster, Zazu Pitts, Frank McHugh, Alan Jenkins. Alan Jenkins is in so many movies, and it's like a running joke at Warner Archive that they release his movies because he's in everything. I don't know too much about this one. The cast alone is worth the ticket of admission, in my opinion. I love so many of these people. But the concept sounds interesting. A radio personality played by Ginger Rogers has this kind of goody two-shoes image that she's trying to protect, but there's other stuff going on in the background. So it's like this battle of like perception but real life. almost like Christmas in Connecticut with Barbara Stanwyck. She has this one role, but then she's really something else. So I'm curious about this one. Now, before I move on to the books, and there's always books in my classic film haul, you know me, I just want to talk a little bit about a trip I took recently. I went to South by Southwest and it was a wonderful experience. It was last month. I traveled down to Austin and I got to cover it as a member of the press. So I got this really cool press badge here and I got a cool tote bag. Here's the design in the front. It's really nice. I could choose between Showtime or HBO on the back. I chose HBO just because when I went to the Toronto International Film Festival last year, I got some Showtime stuff. So I figured, I'll just get HBO. But this is such a cool tote bag and I love tote bags. And on the way to Austin, I stopped in Atlanta to visit some friends, and that was amazing. And one of the cool things that we got to do was we got to visit Turner Studios. We got to meet with some folks who worked at TCM. We got to walk onto the stage where Ben Mankiewicz and Alicia Malone and Dave Carver all do their presentations. We didn't get to see Eddie Muller's Noir Alley set, but Ben Mankiewicz was in between filming, so we got a cool chance to see the set. That was amazing. And one of the things I got when I was there was this mug. Came in this box. It's a cool enamel mug, and I'll show you the design on the front there. Hope you can see it. And on the back it says, "The chase is the best part." And this kind of reminds me of the design that's on the pin set I got last year. Like a reference to North by Northwest. So that was pretty cool. Thank you to TCM. It's time for some books. Oh yeah. First up is Seduction, Sex, Lies, and Stardom in Howard Hughes' Hollywood by Karina Longworth. And if you're familiar with You Must Remember This, that's Karina Longworth's podcast. She wrote this amazing book about Howard Hughes' life, his career in Hollywood, with a definite focus on the Hollywood aspects. He had a lot of things going on, including his aviation career and his Hughes tool business and all other sorts of things. And it also focuses on the many actresses who came into his life and how he had an impact on their lives and careers in both positive and negative ways. I read this for Carl Sweeney's podcast, The Movie Palace. So we just recorded the other day a long conversation where we go through the book section by section, just pointing out things we thought were interesting and basically reviewing the book in kind of a long form format on podcast, which is very on brand considering the author. And one thing is on Twitter, they had this flash giveaway for signed book plates, and I got one. So I have a signed book plate there from the author, which is pretty cool. So make sure you follow the Movie Palace podcast so you can listen to the episode that I'm on talking about this book. Next up is a book that I've been waiting for a long time, and I'm so excited that it went on sale last week. Forbidden Hollywood, the Pre-Code Era, 1930 to 1934, When Sin Ruled the Movies by Mark A. Vieira. This is published by TCM's imprint with Running Press, and it's a coffee table style book, so Mark Vieira is an amazing film researcher, writer, and photographer. So this is a great combination of really deep research, lots of context, lots of information about the pre-code era, but also lots of beautiful images. So I'll show you one spread here. I'm currently reading this now. I have an interview with him coming up on the TCM website, which I'll link down below once that's live. And I plan to do a book video for this one, so stay tuned for that. The Lives of Robert Ryan by J.R. Jones. This is published by Wesleyan University Press. This came out a few years ago, I think 2015, and I've had my eye on it forever. So I love Robert Ryan and I really want to learn more about him. I thought of this book when I was reading Sterling Hayden's Wars by Lee Mandel. I don't know why I thought of that at first, but now it kind of makes sense because both Sterling Hayden and Robert Ryan were actors who didn't fit the Hollywood mold. They kind of buck the system in their own unique ways. So I finally requested this book, and the University Press, like Wesleyan University Press, was very kind to send me review copies. So I will have a review on the site very soon for this. Fay Wray and Robert Riskin, a Hollywood memoir by Victoria Riskin. This is published by Pantheon, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House. And Fay Wray, as you know, is the actress best known for King Kong, and Robert Riskin was a screenwriter. So this is about their careers, their lives, their marriage, and it's written by their daughter, Victoria Riskin. This has been getting such good buzz. Victoria has been touring with the book and doing lots of appearances. I know she was at Film Forum, I know she's been in Hollywood, so I've only heard good things about this book, so I'm super excited to dive in. And if I can't get this read and reviewed by this month, it'll probably be part of my summer reading challenge. So last book, Finding Zsa, The Gabors Behind the Legend by Sam Staggs. Now this one is going to be published by Kensington Books at the end of July, and this one refers to itself as the first verifiable history of the Gabors. So there's, all the Gabor sisters, Zsa, Eva, and Magda, I'm hoping I'm saying all those names right. All the the glitz and the glamour and the rumors and the scandal. What really was going on in their lives? So I think it's super interesting that this really takes a look at their lives and kind of takes a deep dive. I think I've read one book about Zsa Gabor, and it was about Zsa Gabor and George Sanders, but it didn't do the research, or it wasn't really a comprehensive look at her life. So I'm super interested, and I like the fact this is about all three sisters, and it looks like it might be about their mother too. So thank you to Kensington Books for sending me a copy of this to review. Well, I hope you liked this video. It's been really fun showing the DVDs, Blu-rays, books, and all the goodies that I got over the past few months. And if you like this video, please leave a comment below and let me know which of the items interested you the most. Thanks for watching. Bye!